Hey YouTube, it's Jess. I am going to do a vlog update today. Let's see, I had a doctor's appointment today, and okay, I broke my arm really bad in '09. And I have had 2 surgeries on it, and I need a third one. And if you see my fingers, they basically like hold themselves like that because of the nerve damage. So like to make them straighten, I can't basically that's as far as I can force my fingers to straighten themselves. So my surgeon wanted me to get a special test done on my nerves. I forgot what they called it. It was something with letters and whatever. He told me that I needed to go to a neurologist to get that done. So I would need to go to my PCP and get a referral and then make an appointment with a neurologist, and the neurologist would do it. So I went to my PCP in December, and they have issues with referrals. I need like a surgeon referral for something else, and I need an endocrinologist referral and a few other things, and like they're weird about their referrals. I don't know, they take forever. I made the appointment. Well, Ethan made the appointment last week for my neurologist because we finally got all of my stuff sorted out with my insurance and got my insurance switched around and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, we'll just get it over with. And I can go into Dr. Shank and get my surgery done, and my arm will be done, and I can go back to worrying about, my brain stuff, which is my seizures and my migraines. So we started off this morning with an argument about sex, which was joyous. Followed by a whopping 3 hours of sleep, so I'm going on very little sleep right now. And then because we stayed up so long arguing, and got so little sleep, I overslept, which made me late for my appointment. I also, once I woke up, figured out that my appointment was in BFE, literally, like 45 miles north. Like, seriously, like, past Phoenix. Like, it was bad. Anyway, and then I forgot about my new copay because the insurance here, which is a whole nother topic, the insurance here decided I need copays even though I'm not making any money year-round. I have a brain injury, so I write out things like my medications, my dosages, my allergies, my surgeries, I think I already said diagnosis. Anyway, so yeah, so I write everything out. Everything that's basically they've ever said about me, I write out because then I don't forget. I don't forget to tell people that I'm on, 13 medications and prenatal vitamins and, stuff that they want to know about. And the lady at the front desk of the neuro place didn't want to take my paper. She was like, it's handwritten. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, it needs to be filled in on this paper. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I brought it this way so that it was easier on me. I'm like, you guys can keep the paper. You can staple it to that paper. Like, seriously, it's just a file. Like, who cares? So we argued for like 5 minutes about that. And then they didn't have the correct referral. So I had to fight with them to tell them that I wasn't there for my seizures and my migraines, but instead I was there for the nerve damage in my arm. In which case they were really confused. All of a sudden they handed me a clipboard of papers and told me that I had to sign them. There was no option here. I had to sign them. They wouldn't even tell me what they were for. I read them, and they were medical releases. They wanted me to release all my medical records regardless of who they were from. So I had to argue about not doing that, and basically I didn't argue. I just said, I'm not doing this, and handed it back. Like I said, notes. So then the lady up front was really rude. I don't really like to be called ma'am. I'm 22 years old. Miss is fine. Ma'am's okay occasionally, but really there's a point where you overdo the word ma'am. And the lady up front was just being rude. She was calling both Ethan and I ma'am. I was blatantly right in front of her saying Ethan and he, and she was still like, I said, okay, ma'am. Why are you calling him ma'am? And I had already had it with everything. Yeah, she basically shut up from that point on. She was asking why I was there as a front desk person. That's not any of her business. I'm obviously there to see a doctor. I don't really want to talk to a fucking nurse. Excuse the language. She was insisting that I release my medical records, and she was getting shitty all the way around about the forms and how I had filled them out, about the paperwork, and the fact that I refused to sign a blank piece of paper because I didn't know what they were going to do with it and they wouldn't tell me. They had this piece of paper and it had nothing on it, and it was basically the doctor was supposed to look at me and fill out this piece of paper and talk to me about things, and then I was supposed to sign it. It said it right on there that I signed it after. So it was like if I had diabetes, or if I was having issues sleeping or whatever. It was just basically so that the doctor could talk to me about certain things, and I refused to sign it, and that made her mad. Um, and then we were told that she lost my referral from Dr. Shank's office along with all the paperwork from Dr. Shank's office, and Dr. Shank is my surgeon, my arm surgeon. So we, it, yeah, I had them send everything over. Ethan had them send everything over, and they lost it. And it wasn't even, hey, we lost it. It was, we never got it. And I know Dr. Shank's office. I know the lady up front. Actually, I know both ladies up front. I've been in there enough that they've always gotten all my paperwork to whoever it needs to go to when it needs to go to them. It was just, I don't appreciate new offices trying to make my other offices look bad. They refused to give me copies of my intake papers, the paperwork I filled out for the new patient paperwork. I always take copies of them because I don't trust that they're going to file them properly, and I don't want to fill them back out. Let's see. When they said that they had lost it, or that they never got my referral papers from Dr. Shank, we called Dr. Shank's office and had them refax them twice. Apparently, after verifying the fax number, they still weren't getting the faxes. We were then informed by the front office that it was just an intake appointment, and that I'd have to reschedule another appointment with my PCP to get a brand new referral to this doctor, because my referral expired apparently. Was expiring apparently. And then I would have to come back to this neuro and on a different date. It wouldn't be like today. And then after that, the neuro would refer me to another doctor for the proper testing. I was not happy at all. Let's see. So we called my PCP's office. We were informed that they do those tests, the tests that I needed, they do them in her office. Like, seriously. I was there in December saying I needed this test, and no one told me that it could be done in her office. It was like, okay. So Ethan was on the phone with the office manager, trying to figure out why my referral had been written wrong. So I went to Dr. Shank's office, and Dr. Shank said, Dr. Shank does all my work off the books. He basically pays for everything. He does it free. So Dr. Shank said I needed to go to my PCP so that I could have them refer me to a neurologist for the proper testing. That way, my insurance covered it. Like, if he had referred me to a neurologist, I would have had to pay for the neurologist appointment and the testing out of my own pocket, which I can't afford. So he told me to go to my PCP, tell her what was up, have her refer me to a neurologist, go to the neurologist, get the test done, get a copy of the results, and take them to his office. Sounds really simple. Sounds like a lot of runaround, but it sounds simple and cheaper than buying my own appointment. So I was like, that's fine. So that's what we did, and apparently my PCP, A, doesn't work there anymore, and B, ended up writing my referral wrong. She wrote in on my paperwork that it was for seizures and migraines because that was the diagnosis that I had down on my initial forms. Sorry, Ethan's talking to me. She had written this down, and we called the manager, or we called my office, or the office, and asked for the office manager, and excuse me, and they all of a sudden had lost my entire file. Like, they didn't know any referrals, they didn't know any diagnoses. All of a sudden, they were insisting that they hadn't seen me since my intake appointment in February of 2010. I just got scripts from these people in December. I probably wouldn't be alive without my scripts, literally, so I was just there in December. And that's what I said. I said that I could bring in my old scripts because I still have, I have the bottles, and they say who they're from, and they say that they have refills, and I wouldn't have refills if I didn't have an appointment with them. Anyway, so Ethan finally got fed up. He had been on the phone with these people, and I was getting aggravated, and I was getting a headache, and he was annoyed. So he's loading my chair back into the SUV, and he basically told him forget it, that we were just gonna come in. So we went in. After an hour of fighting about why I was at the neuro's office, we left the neuro's office. Drove another 10 miles to my PCP's office and waited for 45 minutes to speak with the office manager in person, because apparently that's the only way to get a breakthrough here. The day finally starts to get better. And I finally am able to, like, take a deep breath and not feel like we just wasted literally $20 in gas to get over there and nothing's going to happen. They were able to do the test in the office today, so I got the test done. They put little electrodes on my arm in different places. Back here, I don't know if you can see, I'm not really looking at the camera, back here and like up in here. And they did, it's basically like a little stun gun, so like there was no needles or anything. And my arm's so messed up that it kind of felt halfway decent because it took away the pain, and I'm not sure why it took away the pain. I might talk to my surgeon about that, but it's still numb. But he would like shock around the little electrode places, and basically on the monitor it was all flat. So we found out that my nerves are very, very, very messed up in this arm. And to compare, he did both of my legs and my left arm as well, and those hurt like hell. So if you have nerve damage, that test doesn't hurt. If you don't have nerve damage, it hurts. So yeah, so my nerves are compressed, and I will hopefully be getting surgery later this month for my nerves before they freaking like explode inside my arm, if that's possible. It's probably not. I'm just being dramatic. Anyway, so Ethan scheduled he scheduled an appointment for himself. After I had asked where my PCP was, because she's not working there for them anymore, and it literally, for those of you that have followed my Facebook since last year, took us five PCPs to find one that I clicked with, and I finally found one, and she left. Anyway, she's working in Chandler, and we found out where she's working, but I was telling the office manager that I wanted to stick with that PCP because Ethan wanted to go to that PCP because she was accepting of trans stuff. And basically, we had ended up coming out to her because every time I go in there, which is like 1 to 2 times a month normally when I have the money for copays, she would want to do a urine test for pregnancy, and because she sees Ethan as Ethan, which is awesome, and it just got aggravating after a while. And finally, Ethan and I were both like, okay, this isn't possible. Like, unless we're planning it, I'm not gonna be pregnant. So, he came out to her as trans, and she was really awesome about it, and so that she could work with him and hopefully code things properly to get insurance to cover certain things. So we're talking to the office manager, and she told us where McLaughlin was, but then she also mentioned that they have 5 patients that see 2 different doctors in their office, and they're medically transitioning through the office, which I think is awesome. So we both have appointments on Tuesday now. I have to pick up my results for my surgeon, and we're going to meet with the new trans-friendly doctor. Let's see. And then also the office manager said that if there's ever a reason that I can't afford my copay for any reason at their office, that I can just have the girl up front go back and get a signature from her, and she'll take care of it. Which gives me 0 reason to not stay up on visits to my PCP. Like, I don't ever want to go to the doctor again, but I will. Yeah, so we just kind of wanted to share that, that he found a doctor in the midst of all of my crap. And hopefully my arm will be fixed sooner than later. Alright, I just wanted to get all the ranting out so that I could maybe sleep tonight. Thanks for listening, YouTube. Bye.